is proudly brought to you by the National Center for Wellness.
The overall issue is that in general, if you appreciate that for moms, stress is the key thing for leading to inflammation, which leads to illnesses. And when moms are holding and nursing babies, their stress levels decrease. And as I said, reset the set point, so to speak, so that they can, yeah, it just helps with their health overall.
Absolutely. So everything is run off of, I like to use the term of thermostat, and that you alter the thermostat, and that thermostat triggers a release in the maintenance of different hormones or chemicals in your body at a different level or a different rate, but most of it naturally is triggered by the connection or the bond between mom and baby.
Right.
I always like to add that it works really well for dads too, and I always want to empower dads to get in there and be involved and make those connections because they get the same benefit.
That's one of the things that I think, and even older societies probably didn't do it as much, and that's involving dad. But yes, dads have the same physiological connection. And that's one of the things to me that I don't think we've discussed, boasted about, whatever. But when you're breastfeeding, which allows skin-to-skin contact, or when, if you can't for some reason breastfeed or don't want to, but you still do skin-to-skin contact, strictly baby's front to mom's front or dad's front, that it increases the oxytocin in them as well.
Right.
And part of what it does, and we have some research actually beginning to show this, is that the connection, that bond, that attachment is much greater between mothers and babies. But because they also have that close time, they begin to understand each other's communication in a nonverbal way.
Sure.
And so that in the follow-ups that have been done at 1 year after birth with moms who even done kangaroo care just for an hour or 90 minutes after birth, they notice a significant difference in how mothers and babies interact and can interpret what each other is saying.
Yeah.
And significant over the mothers who didn't have the contact, who get the subtleties of what's going on. Now, Ruth Feldman in Israel has also done some work with oxytocin levels in dads throughout infancy, and her work is also showing that oxytocin level is higher. Once you get it higher, it stays a bit higher than others. And we can increase the oxytocin level not just by holding our kids, but there's many, many triggers. Social support being one of them, light touch or massage, warm showers, and just, feeling good, a good conversation with your friend or something like that when you go back and say, oh, that was a wonderful get together. Well, that's all due to the oxytocin, which also triggers our endorphins, or the opioids in our body, which makes you feel happier, so you want to do it again.
Highly addicted. Right.
And I think that's one of the things, with breastfeeding. If you feel good about it and it's not painful on the nipples and things, then you want to do it again because you want to feel good. And so why not a natural high?
Well, the positive feedback loop is brilliant because it ensures your willingness and interest to make sure you dedicate the time to give to make your baby as healthy as possible. I think it's brilliant.
Right.
One of the things I always tell dads, and I relate this to the moms, is to encourage dad to do the bathing. So especially with my kids, is that I would do the skin on skin, but I would do the bathing. And so on a number of different levels, it's great for dads because it gives us that one-on-one time that I say mom's not allowed in there. So mom, you have to go sit on the couch, have a cup of tea, do nothing, but just put your feet up and relax. But it gives dad a chance to figure out how to hold the baby and how to move the baby, get comfortable so that it's effortless, it's comfortable, and it's easy. But that skin on skin contact initially, it's you're doing the washcloth thing, and you're getting used to just holding the baby and that connection, the trust, and the baby's looking at you, and it's great. But then eventually you get to that shower point where you're skin on skin, you're holding the baby, and you get that trust issue, but you have that connection where you are sharing and releasing and have those hormones, and then to get the baby changed and put the lotion on, it is a lot of skin and touch and fine touch. And I think any person, any dad that's certainly done that and spent the time doing that has such an incredible bond, that connection with the child, that it's an obvious, it's a sure kind of a reaction.
And grandparents can get the same thing.
Absolutely.
Well, it doesn't take a lot of time to make that physiological connection, and that's, to me, what's so amazing. It isn't. Until I got into this, I don't know if I really knew how it was made, but it was something up here in the brain. But I didn't really figure that it was literally a hormonal, neurological connection that brings out the protectiveness as well.
That's great, and the same hormones were involved in creating the baby,
right?
It's setting the whole stage for it. That it's smart and logical that they would bring it back together.